Hello, we're going to start watching the scene of option 3. This area here is a new parking garage and some buildings here. This was a Walmart. This was torn down for this model, and green infrastructure was installed in this location over the Walmart and the parking lot. And as well as this shopping center, green infrastructure was installed along Northwest Highway, this road in Dallas, Texas. And it is right next to a drinking water source. Green infrastructure and a retention pond was installed here. I based that on the locations I've seen flood, and the city did not share their stormwater infrastructure shapefile. I submitted a public information request and they did not accept that request. As we zoom in, we see there's a new greenhouse that will have plants and food for the homeless population. Here is a green infrastructure and a parking garage. And to the right, you'll see a green bridge that has been built next to some green roofs. The system paused as I touched the screen. This bridge, bike lanes were added, and I did not add a median there because it's a small road that is a current bridge that crosses the drinking water source. This is Webschapel extension, which a 6.8 meter median was added to decrease the speed of cars down this road. In option 3, the red lane is a bus lane. There's already bus stops and cars often get stuck behind the buses. So the bus stop would be ideal. It's a bus stop or a bike lane. So the bikes can ride there. There's also a two-way bike lane on the sidewalk that can be used for bicycles in this design. And the median is different sizes along this road. In this area, it's a larger median, whereas we'll get back to this area, which is a smaller median. The size of the median changes based on the amount of flooding in that area. Green infrastructure installed and retention pond that was built for storage of water. And then we see the green bridge a little bit and the bike lanes. In the middle is desert willow and roses, and that is the parking garage. Garbage bins have been installed because there is a lot of litter and there are no garbage bins along the road currently, and there is no sidewalk. So that is option 3. Option 2 has a bridge in a different location that uses a different method to build that bridge. And so just to show you a little bit about what the current location looks like. We'll zoom into this drinking water area so we can see what current roads look like. This is the Bachman Lake drinking water source that is located next to this airport, which, and this curved road along here is Northwest Highway. It is an older road. It's not considered a highway, and it crosses this road, which is Webschapel Extension, which I also did a complete street design on. This area is not able to be built on is for the airport, but in some of the designs, these have been turned into green roofs. Buildings have been made taller, and a parking garage was placed in this area in the new design, option 3. The goal is to reduce speed along this road, minimize injuries that occur when families cross this road to get to the park. People often come here to watch planes land, the sunset. It has a 3-mile trail around this lake, and it also has kayakers in the morning. It connects to the rest of the trails that go throughout Dallas, which would be, it's one reason why it'd be great to do a complete street design to connect a bike trail to the rest of the trails in Dallas. It has a low income population for medium household income and a very dense area, many apartments within 2 miles, and a large population without cars, which would be one reason to make it more walkable. Homeless population and crime is common in this area. So that's why a goal of a greenhouse with food for the homeless population and composting and things for them to take part in. Near the greenhouse would be a theater, an outdoor theater area where there'll be seating and free entertainment near the Green Bridge for this low income area. Currently, there's 3 lanes on each side and a 4-meter median with turning lanes. And there's large amounts of flooding along this road. This is what the area currently looks like. The medians don't have green infrastructure. Here's an example. And there's gas stations, and they're very close to the drinking water source. So one gas station in the design will have, it's located here, will have a cistern installed to reduce the risk of contamination. Having that gas station runoff made from the pavement of the first inch of rain, reduce that by taking the water off the roof of the gas station. And the green roofs will also help, and the green infrastructure and the new areas with reduced parking lots and building footprints will absorb water and will improve water quality by catching the first inch of rain. Now I will go into the PowerPoint. This is the final project, Bachman Lake Park and Northwest Highway near Love Field Airport for 6283D class. My name is Anissa Petrovich. This is the area near the airport. This is talking about the background of why this area was chosen: medium household, low income for medium household, a large dense population of low income, large population without people without cars, a large population of people walking with non-contiguous and non-existent sidewalks in some areas, increased amount of traffic injuries trying to cross the road, getting to the park, and also crime and homeless population. but the potential to improve with the installation of a complete street design, green walls, green bridges, and bus lanes in one option, and bike trails. The city would, this is a lot of homes are located near this airport. The fact that this is a drinking water source makes it important, not only for the risk of flooding and safety, but important for water quality in the area to catch that first inch of rain and to reduce any contamination going into the drinking water source. The drinking water source is also used for kayaking. Often the park, people go there for sunset to watch the planes land. And the city would not share the stormwater shapefile. I did a public information request and they said as far as safety goes, they didn't want to share the stormwater map shapefile. I did inquire about where I could plant more trees because they do want to reduce birds for this airport, and they did tear down some trees in the Bachman Lake Park, but a lot of these trees are going outside the park, and I didn't get more details on that. There is a drinking water plant next to the drinking water source that is also next to the airport, and multiple apartment complexes nearby. Green roof incentive is something that I would like to encourage to reduce the heat island effect and increase pollination, space for honeybees or pollinators, native plants on roofs. And that would also be renovating current buildings, tearing down old buildings and building new buildings that can have green roofs. And it will be nice when you're flying with airplanes, seeing all the green in Dallas. There's a lot of large commercial shopping center roofs that would be great to have a green space that you could go on the roof and watch the planes land. It would be another area you could watch the planes land on the green roofs. This is an area that I had an idea to do a green bridge. It'd be a bridge that had native plants and for people to safely get across this road to the park and reduce the amount of injuries crossing the road. It's an intersection that's currently not safe to walk. And the medians don't have any green infrastructure, and cars often drive fast. Installing green infrastructure will reduce the speed of cars, and installing garbage and recycling bins will reduce runoff of pet waste and litter into the drinking water source. This is Webschapel Extension Road. This is Northwest Highway. And this is a bridge that currently goes over the Bachman Lake water source here. Kayaking is done in the lake, and there's a 3-mile path around the lake, which can connect to the rest of the trails in Dallas, but is disconnected in certain areas now. The idea is to install green infrastructure to absorb the first inch of rain, create a safe place for families to watch the sunset, and entertainment such as outdoor theaters and art installations, as well as green infrastructure, artful green infrastructure installations. These are some pictures of the area on Northwest Highway that currently flooded this year from a large rainfall and some cars underwater. As you can see, the litter in the area and the drainage issue that's going on with the just quantity of water here. A new retention pond has been inserted in option number 3 to reduce the quantity of water. Another way to reduce the quantity of water is to collect this rainwater falling off the roofs of gas stations. That will also improve the quality of water that flows into the stormwater system, because when this rain falls off of the gas station, gas station spills on the concrete could run off into the storm sewer. You can see the flooding here around apartments and how high the water is getting. Get data is used. I also had access to files in ArcGIS, which I brought over the trails from Dallas and inserted it into City Engine. This is the goal, is to have a greenhouse like this greenhouse here, which will serve for a food source and entertainment purposes and education. So this dome-shaped greenhouse is a goal for the area, as well as large installations with green infrastructure and water, artful water designs. Currently, the road has 3 lanes on each side, and it does have a bus stop, but no bike lanes and no bus lanes and no sidewalks. These are some of the goals, is to have a green roof, green walls, green bridge, a greenhouse for planting edible food, fruit trees. This is a picture of a green wall design that could be installed along the new green bridge. So in the current area, there's lots of crime, poverty, flooding. There's no green infrastructure. There's not enough street lights or street furniture, no garbage receptacles, no recycling bins, no art sculptures in the park, and no bike lanes, no sidewalks, and the crosswalks are often not safe to use. Injuries occur while crossing the road to get to the park. The goal is to increase water safety and to improve water quality in the area and reduce flooding. This is the methodology I used. I got to get data in City Engine. I used complete streets, rules, and assets, and I used the insert street a tool in City Engine to draw a curved street, which takes longer than a straight street, which the curved street also, when you select it, it takes time to select it in the areas that you want. So the curved street is it takes a little bit more time to draw. And once you draw the street, you drag the roll onto the new street and you fill out the complete street shape area. Before you do that, you'll go into the segment tab of the inspector pane, and you'll edit the size of the street, the car lanes, and then you'll go and modify what elements you want to add to the complete street, such as benches, bike lanes, sidewalks. And then you'll go into SketchUp and download any models, such as recycling bins that you might want to add, or greenhouses like I did. This is the existing road, which is an average of 24.63 meters across, with 3 lanes on both sides, a median that's 4 meters, and it includes a turning lane. My first options design is the closest to what it currently exists. Instead of it being 24.63 meters, it's 26 meters. I increased the size. It still has a 4 meter median, but the goal would be to have the entire median be a green infrastructure installed, and to have a bike lane in both one-way directions on both sides of the roads for bikes. The sidewalk has the bike lanes to increase the safety of the bicycles and keep them away from the cars. The increased size of the street added another lane on the right-hand side, and which would reduce traffic with more lanes. If you wanted to expand the median, I could eliminate one of these lanes and we could expand the median and have more green infrastructure, which is also an option. The sidewalk is 5 meters in this design. The bike lane is 1.24 meters. And the street trees are, the sidewalk trees are the desert willow and the rose, and the median trees are also the desert willow and the rose, which are 2 common plants that are chosen in Dallas. It is likely that we would have rosemary instead of rose in the median. Rosemary is also often planted in the median, which was not a choice in City Engine. In option 1, we're comparing it to option 2 here. Option 2 has, on the right side, has a 26-meter size of a street, just like option 1. But the size of the street is decreased to 22 meters because I added the bike lanes on the street, and I put planters to act as a barrier for the bike lane. The median area is 4 meters, and it does not have a turning lane in this case, which gives more green infrastructure. Mexican buckeye is in the median here with the desert willow, and Mexican buckeye and rose are on the sidewalk. So the biggest difference between option 1 and 2 is the bike lane being on the street. Here's a comparison of option 2 and option 3. Option 3, the street has been expanded to 30 meters, but it decreases the size to 22.39, which is similar to what is in option 2. The decrease in size is because there is a bus lane on both sides of the road that can be used for buses or bicycles. There's also a bicycle lane installed on the sidewalk that is a 2-way bicycle lane, and that is 1.5 meters on the sidewalk. The sidewalk is 5 meters wide and has Mexican buckeye and flowering dogwood. The median has desert willow and rose and rosemary. The biggest difference here is including the bus lane, which is very important because cars often get stuck behind buses, and having this bus lane to be also used for bicycles will increase the flow of traffic because there's no cars sitting behind the buses. The size of the street has been expanded to 30 meters, but it was reduced because of the fact that the bus lanes are not used for cars. The comparison of option 1 and option 3. Option 1 has the sidewalk, bike lane, and option 3 has both the bus lane and sidewalk and has expanded the size of the road. This is a map of the green trails that currently exist that go all the way into Dallas that connect to these trails that are around, and the Bachman Lake and trails length is throughout the city. It currently shows the potential to why this location, Love Field Airport and around Bachman Lake, is ideal to focus a new heart center of the city. Here's pictures of option 1. Option 1 had the closest design to what currently exists because it has a turning lane and a 4-meter median. but it has green infrastructure and a new sidewalk, and it has a bike lane on the sidewalk. It also includes green roofs, buildings that have been torn down and replaced with green infrastructure, and crosswalks that are more visible, and a greenhouse. In the corner here, we see there's a greenhouse that will be a glass building and will help with food and entertainment and education. Here's a picture of the new green areas and the trees that have been added, and some are willow trees, some are southern magnolia trees, and to increase scenery and also to serve as green infrastructure and absorb extra water during those rainfall events. They're designed as retention areas. And there's also a pond retention area that's been added in option 3. But here the green infrastructure is serving as the retention areas for the extra water during high rainfall events. Option 2 has the installation of a green bridge that will be planted and will grow over time, and will have steps to come down here, and then you will go out to the theater and watch a movie after seeing the sunset. We can watch the planes land on the new green roofs on the buildings, and you can watch them from the bridge. The goal is that they watch the sunset and then see a nighttime movie in the park, which would mean you would have people walking back in the dark. So this bridge will help when crossing the road at nighttime. And then you have the picture here zoomed into a solar tree. Solar panels were not put on the roofs, but they were turned into green roofs because solar panels are limited in areas close to airports. These are the plantings that act as a barrier to the sidewalk. And then we have in the corner here an overview of Webschapel Extension and the green area there. And the new green infrastructure installation next to the green bridge. And another greenhouse. Option 3, you can see there's a cistern installed at the gas station on the corner to reduce any type of gas runoff from being near these gas stations, and to reduce the quantity of water flowing onto the road. Here's a greenhouse, and it'll lead to this bridge here. In this model, the bridge is here, and it's near Webschapel Extension. The bridge will lead you to an area where you will have the theater. Here's another green area where former Walmart and parking lot used to be, and an addition of a parking garage has been added, and that gives more green space. Instead of using it for parking cars, you have your parking garage. So if there's increased amount of people coming that are driving for these nighttime movies, they can park in the parking garage. There's a swimming pool that's been added, an indoor swimming pool here, and this is a retention pond that will reduce the flooding on this area. So the water will flow into this retention pond. And this depends on the stormwater design on how to get the water to flow into this retention pond in high flooding events. This is a green wall, and this is another greenhouse. The bus lanes, and in option 3, the street lights are in the median and on the sidewalk, and further up they're just on the sidewalk, whereas in option 2 they are just in the median, the street lights, and not on the sidewalk. In option 1, the lights are on the sidewalk. Option 3, the size of the median is smaller here, but up the road, the size of the median, and like in this picture here, it expands the size of the median. Webschapel Extension is a street coming off of Northwest Highway. The goal is to reduce speed on this road, so the median has been expanded to 6.8 meters, and the street width is 19 meters. It has been added a bike lane on the sidewalk and planted with southern magnolia on the sidewalk, Eve's necklace, and the median with the 6.8 median has Mexican buckeye and desert willow. The comparison in these pictures is Webschapel Extension in option 1 and then option 3. Option 3 has the bus lane, the green roofs, and another green area in the parking garage in the back. And this was option 1, the design for Webschapel Extension. Here are some of the trees that were used, and Dallas has a reforestation fund. There's only certain species of trees that can be purchased with that reforestation fund. The link is the Dallas tree list below. We also have a 2021 Dallas Urban Forest Master Plan to encourage trees in certain areas. Certain buildings will be torn down, redevelopment of tree areas and green infrastructure will be installed. This is an example of roses that will be installed in the median and sidewalk areas. This is a desert willow. This is a willow tree for the green infrastructure areas, a southern magnolia, and Eve's necklace. Here are more trees, black walnut, the Vitex tree, and the pecan were not available in City Engine and SketchUp. Their designs were not appearing in City Engine. This is a flowering dogwood, and this is the Mexican buckeye that's in pink. These are the links to the scenes that we've reviewed, number 3. The major difference between 2 and 3 is the green bridge, that is the location of the green bridge and how it's built. So this is the green bridge in option 2, and the green bridge in option 3 is here in the picture, which is already full of trees and in a different location along Webschapel Extension. Lessons learned: if you draw a new road and you add a complete street design, you can go and add a bridge. You can turn the entire road into a bridge, a pier style bridge, and you can elevate that road. I did not use this method in option 3. I drew a polygon and turned it into a green bridge. And in option 2, I exported a SketchUp design bridge and added green areas on top of the bridge. If you add a bike lane to the sidewalk and you add street furniture, the street furniture bench looks like it's right in front of the bike lane. I would have liked to move the bike lane on the far side of the sidewalk with the walking sidewalk in the middle between the bench and the bike lane, but the bike lane was not moving. We tried to move it. The bench would move with whatever size we made the plantings on the sidewalk, and it would stay close to the it would stay closely located to the bike lane. So we didn't know, there was no way to change that. If you change the bench to a recycling bin, then that will be fine. No one's feet will be in the way. You won't be that close to the bike lane. It'll just be recycling bins. And then you could change that by modifying a rule and turning the bench into a recycling bin. I did add recycling bins into the design, and that can be seen in the models. So this area would benefit from having the complete street design to reduce flooding. There's a lack of retention ponds. There's nothing to filter the first inch of rain. It's located next to the drinking water source. More green space, removing old buildings, renovation of buildings, a greenhouse garden for the large homeless population in the area, and work for them to collect compost piles, bins to collect trash to reduce litter in the area would spur economic development, improve safety of roads, increase access to entertainment options. And this is very encouraging to the existing large population of families in the area. Having a green roof incentive and a zone to keep pricing at a lower level so that it doesn't increase when redevelopment occurs in these certain areas will allow this low-income population to stay in the area. So 3D modeling or virtual reality is a visualization tool that is convincing for setting up the steps to create the design, and a tool to make decisions by understanding the benefits by performing comparisons between each option's design. So if I added more detail, I would like to design a scene of an outdoor theater with people sitting and watching a movie. I was not allowed access to the stormwater shapefiles, but I think it will allow better vision for locating your green infrastructure, having that file. The design elements chosen for the complete streets will improve scenery and safety and bike options, as well as serving to connect to the rest of the Dallas trails. I like how the students designed detailed plazas. I would like to add a detailed plaza with new textures into my drawing and use SketchUp for an area that shows people watching a movie. The outdoor movie setting will be located near the Green Bridge. So after watching the sunset from the Green Bridge and the airplanes land, the public can watch a movie outside. I also want it to be more detailed on the choice of trees and the plants chosen for the Green Bridge. At the beginning of the design session, the software is slightly slower, and so I found it easier to work at night when I had a great internet connection. And finding the right perspectives, there's a pause when regenerating all of the shape files. Moving shapes takes a longer process than expected. So once I got a computer mouse, it worked faster to adjust the screen, but it still takes long to get the right perspectives. That's why if you do get a right perspective, it's good to click favorite right away so you don't have to find that location again. But moving and getting close to the objects, I found that as something I would like to, get used to. Reselecting the street, because it's a curved street, it didn't always reselect it perfectly. And then if you had to go back, sometimes the shapefile was empty and didn't have the data, so you wouldn't remember what size you made or what street trees you put on, and it wouldn't say the name of the street tree. So if you didn't select the road perfectly, and that was different with a curved road. And I did make a part of the road, the median, bigger in option 3 in certain areas. So selecting the right parts was important to keep the difference in the median size. So this is plan, redevelop, think, art, solar, green bridges, pedestrian walkways, green this street, Northwest Highway, Bachman Lake, Love Field, Dallas, Texas. So I think that if this green infrastructure installations were to happen in the area, there would be a lot of redevelopment in the area and increased safety and decreased crime. And it, with all of the new infrastructure funding, I think this is a good project to start planning. You see a drain here for excess water. And that is the presentation. So thank you for listening. And if you'd like to click the links to view the rest of the scenes, we already viewed option 3. We can also view option 2, but it will take time to load. So here is option 2 loading, and this is the different type of green bridge that was made. So there are a lot of goals for this area that complete streets would be beneficial to use. We spoke about some of the goals, which is reducing flooding, reducing litter, reducing crime, increasing safety. All items that the complete street design can assist with: increasing green infrastructure, improving water quality in the drinking water source. So connecting transportation to the rest of the trails in Dallas. I think all of these goals can be achieved with this new design in this particular area that has so much available but could be improved with minor changes. Because there is a large population of people that don't have cars, it's the perfect area to increase bike lanes and to make it safe and walkable, because there is so little, so large and dense of a population that don't have the ability to drive. Buses, the DART, and walking is common in this area, and this will improve access to that by using the trails and increasing safety. This is option 2, downloading. I thought I would just show this. We already saw option 3 at the beginning. And it's about ready. Couple more minutes and it will be able to view the scene that is downloading. My favorite option is option 3 because I've often gotten behind buses and you have to wait for everyone to load and unload. And I think it just is safer to have a bus lane that cars don't drive in, so that nobody is trying to get in another lane. And people exiting the bus aren't put in danger. I do like the idea of having its own bus lane that can be used for bikes. I think that's something that is essential and should be added. But in that case, the road should be expanded if it will only be used for buses and bikes. Currently, the road has 3 lanes on each side, but here is option 2. Option 2 does not have the bus lane. Option 3 does, and that's the one I showed before. This one has the bike lanes located on the street. I think it's safer to locate them on the sidewalk, knowing the area. But we do see the green areas that have been added for green infrastructure purposes. And we do see the greenhouses that have been added, Webschapel extension, the median size increase, the green roofs. This is the bridge that has a bike lane added that crosses the water source. These are the garbage receptacles, and we have some green walls that have been added, and the recycling bins along the sidewalk. The scene has frozen. And so we're zooming out. I do like option 3's green bridge better. I like the location better, and I like the design better in option 3. That was the green bridge, and then we have more green infrastructure, green roofs. This is option 2. Option 3 has all of the buildings with a green design. This is Webschapel extension. And the new green area. Okay. Well, thank you for your assistance, and I hope you have a great holiday. I think this is a great source to plan and resiliency projects that focus on certain areas' needs, and a great way to compare options. Thank you. Have a good day.